Now, you see, this is my microphone and would like to throw it into the public, into the audience. Are there any questions?
Don't throw it at them.
Who is starting? Of course,
if you don't ask
there
a question,
are,
you have to buy
who
dinner.
Is starting it? It's easy.
You got to have a question. You were paying attention, and you were paying attention. This guy's got a question.
I think so.
Oh, he's pointing to him.
What do you think about Asian markets, perhaps? Just the tools you mentioned, we would like to have them, but they're quite expensive. So how you make the choice about focusing? How do you do that?
Excellent. Yeah, a lot of the tools are too expensive. If you're a small business, most traditional tools are prohibitively expensive. So how do you pick the tools? What I want you to do is to start out with that wheel the way you see it. Now, make some blank cards in case there's something I didn't think of or something that's unique to your company, product, or region. That's fine. But I want you to at least ask the question, is television reasonable? Yeah, probably not. It's too expensive. So take it, flick it away. Is radio appropriate? Maybe still too expensive for a small or medium size. Knock it out of the way. But go through the wheel, but it forces you to at least consciously make a decision about every single tool that's available. And you know by past measurement which ones are going to have the greatest return on investment. Television may not, radio may not, newspaper maybe, but it forces you to ask that question. From now on, I want you to do marketing deliberately and not accidentally or the way you did it last year. Until you get down to the tools that are less expensive, more effective.
You got the expert here in the room, so please feel free to, the next question here, 1 second.
Thanks for breaking the ice.
Wow.
That's cool.
Well, I got a question. When you think about a startup, and you have to create a completely new strategy, what's the point you start with?
Yeah, I love that question. I'm a startup kind of a guy. I've built 14 companies in my career, and one of my companies is part of the Smithsonian Institute. So yeah, startup is really near and dear to my heart because entrepreneur, I don't know if you're familiar, the term entrepreneur is the French word for cheap. We don't have any money as an entrepreneur in a startup, so money is really critical. Advertising, generally, we don't have much or any budget. So same thing. Let's start with that wheel. Take a look at traditional. Take a look at your demographic. Take a look at where your customers and prospects live. Where are they? Maybe it could be the newspaper. Maybe you can cut a deal. Maybe it's a trade journal because it's a very selective audience. Maybe that's just too expensive. But do you see, the traditional wheel is going to force you to ask those questions and have that discussion. Then when you look over at social, maybe it is social. First of all, for startups, no question about it. Start building your email list as quickly as possible. I mean, really focus on it. Everything that you do, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Snapchat, Pinterest, I don't care what it is. Push them all to email. Start creating what we call fish food. I want to see infographics. I want to see white papers. I want to see videos. I want to see whatever you can attract people that they'll exchange their email address for. Build it. And then start working on your social platforms. And don't rule out things like Snapchat and Pinterest. I just had an amazing success with a company that sells products on Pinterest. In the US, in South America, and parts of Asia, Pinterest is one of the most powerful sales tools. And it doesn't cost anything to use. So, and we can talk offline if you want more ideas. I love entrepreneurial startups. So if you're in one, congratulations.
Thank you.
Up front.
Up front.
And then her.
How come you have such an old school website even though you're in...
How come I have what?
Such an old school website.
Because it just got hacked.
It doesn't even work mobile that well.
Thank you. Thank you. The question, if you haven't heard, is why does my website suck? That's what you were really thinking. Because I just got hacked again. Ever since the social media Bible come out, for some reason, I must have done something to piss off the Russians, because they have been hacking the hell out of me. Excuse me, it's a very emotional subject. They took down my email server, they took down all of my websites, and I'm just putting it back together. So I told I have a company in India, put up anything for this, and we'll fix it later. Good question. Huh?
The sign up for the slides doesn't work. The sign up for the slides.
See? Okay, I'm still getting hacked. Believe it or not, I swear to you, 30 minutes before I got on stage here, I was with my ISP in America trying to get some of this stuff fixed for today's presentation, and I apologize. Send me an email, that's still working, lonsafko@lonsafko.com, and I promise I'll send you the slides. And I apologize, but I'm glad you pointed it out, because you'll see it if you look at this. It sucks.
Yeah, we have 1 or 2 last questions. Who is on? Come on, the expert is here. Here.
This is going to be a good question, I can tell by the look.
Okay, how do you convince the management to support you and to invest in your social media strategy? As most of them don't care, don't understand, and unfortunately are also too old to get starting with it.
So what you're saying, because there's a lot of background noise, social media isn't really working because the demographic doesn't use social media?
I'm not saying that. I'm just wondering, how do you convince the management to support you and to invest, as they usually don't really understand and care?
How do you convince management that social platforms is a viable form of marketing? If you can't have them assassinated or retired, you may have to quit. You know, there's only one thing that convinces management, and that's success. That's revenue, it's ROI. So the first thing that you have to do is you have to show some successes. If you don't have the financial and human resources to do it internally, then go find some white papers and some reports on similar companies that have had successes in the areas that you're trying to prove. And just casually print them and leave them on their chair so that they accidentally find them in the morning. Because, by the way, it has to be their idea, because if they don't think of it, it doesn't count. So you got your work cut out for you, and that's still a really big problem. Believe it or not, in most American companies, it's still a problem. But if you can show them an ROI, they'll start to listen. Then, if you can just have a small success of your own, then they'll buy in. But it's going to be a time-consuming process. Unfortunately, you're going to have to spend more time on them than your marketing.
Yeah, good one. So, very final question: who is in the audience having to the expert here?
Come on, it's like free consulting.
Yeah, take it as a free consulting. Already all experts.
Okay, we get. See, it's always the front 2 rows. I'm telling you.
What if you don't have one person responsible for social media, and you don't have the time to make like everyday posts, whatever? Would you consider to still do it, at least have it, or just leave it?
So the question, if I got it correctly, the question is, if I don't have the human resources to manage and maintain and actively engage on social platforms, what do? Hootsuite. I mean, that's one of the fastest ways. I spend most of my time traveling around India, Asia, and Europe. I spend very little time at home, which my wife, by the way, is getting really upset with. This might be my last international travel for a while. What I do is I pre-program everything into Hootsuite. I mean, it only costs $10 US, about 10 euros. And what you can do is you can put in all your tweets, posts, updates, status, everything, all into an Excel spreadsheet. So what I'll do is I'll get a video of one of my presentations, and I'll start pulling stuff out that I didn't even remember I said, and I'll put them in the Excel. Oh, that sounds smart. Oh, most people don't know that. And then I just upload it. If you have a paid account, you can just upload it. And then tell it what time you want those to go out. So Monday through Friday, 3 times a day, I have stuff goes out to every single network, and I don't have to get involved. Now, yesterday, when I was in downtown Zurich, I was posting pictures to Facebook like it was crazy because it's so beautiful here. So I do update with live stuff, but I want to make sure that my brand is continuously engaging 3 times a day, 5 days a week. So yeah, I use Hootsuite to do that. And there's other tools out there that you can use, but that's inexpensive. It's very easy to use. It's really important to stay engaged Otherwise, your customers, your prospects will simply lose interest in you.
Great, so what I have learned is that not format is king, content is king, and that was a royal speech. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
So that was Lon Safko, and you can download everything, or you can have this old-fashioned business card or whatever, and just go to Amazon old-fashioned website as well and download it. He will be grateful. So thank you very much.